Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 60 of the Seezus Show. It's been a long time. I feel like I haven't recorded in almost a month. I don't really know when the last episode was recorded, which was episode 59. I've been real busy, been going through a lot of stuff. And just to rehash with you guys, I moved into a one-bedroom apartment. So that was very lit, new experience. Wanted some peace and solidarity. No shade to my roommates or nothing like that, but I just need a new challenge in my life. So definitely appreciate that. It's a little awkward waking up because you don't have that energy around you. So I'm starting to learn new things about myself, and I'm starting to learn a lot of habits that I've had that I didn't really realize. Like I didn't realize that I suck at packing up dishes. I didn't realize that I overuse paper towels. But just a learning experience. I still gotta get some stuff set up. Like you can see right here, I need a TV mount over there. I need some bar stools. So it's a slow process, but once it's set up,
You'll get there.
once it's set up, everything's gonna be good. And another thing that happened, RIP to my dog Ziggy, 9 years old, passed away of heart failure. I was just feeling real down, real low about that situation. But I'm good now. I'm in good spirits because with him, it was always positive energy. You can't really be mad because it's only everlasting great moments. So it hurt me, so I had to definitely take a step away from everything and also on top of moving. But very appreciative of the times that we had. And one thing about dogs is like they only have like really one state of mind. They're always happy. So like whenever I was coming home from work or just battling through something internally, he was always smiling. Sometimes I used to be like, yo, like, why are you smiling? Why are you happy? But when you live to just love is a pretty dope feeling. And a lot of times too, we're human beings, obviously. So we're on a different level mentally. So, we can go through things mentally. We got to pay bills. We may have problems within relationships with family, et cetera, et cetera. But when you take a step back, you really just got to appreciate your life that you have. You know what I'm saying? So he made me very appreciative of life. So RIP. And just to rehash before we get into today's episode, on episode 59, I was with my co-host Trey, and we talked about a couple things. A couple things we talked about was DeMarcus Cousins' injury, freak accident, which sucked. Have a speedy recovery. Dwight to the Lakers. Team USA scrimmages. Team USA. Steph bringing golf to Howard and much, much more content. So if you haven't checked that out, it's still worth going to. It's a great episode. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for a returner. My guest, my boy, Drew.
What up, y'all? We back. I'm glad. Episode 60 of the Seezus Show. Last time we had some technical difficulties, man. We had audio. The video is here. The video is back. I'm excited to be with my boy. Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You been good?
Always, man. Just been working, grinding. Made some time. We here.
Make some time.
Excited.
This is a late recording. Y'all don't know it's 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time.
It's 10 o'clock.
I
10
normally
o'clock.
record like
Scary hours.
I normally record like around 7, 8 o'clock, but today was good. Went to work. Got off a little bit early. Took a slight nap because I needed it. Went to the gym. It was good. It was straight setting up the spot, setting up the set. So I like it. You rocking with the set?
Yeah, man. I like my boy Kyrie up there. I like Steph. You got some more additions over there. I see you gonna add sometime soon. I like the new crib though, man. One man crib. I like it. I like it. I'm gonna shout them out all the hardwood. I like it. You're doing good, man. I like it.
For sure. Got the Space Jam Cup, one of my favorite movies. Then I also got a plant that I got from my boy, my old roommate Wade, my best friend. So appreciate the love, my guy. But you ready to get into the topics for today?
Let's get it.
All right, let's go. So the first thing I want to talk about is one of my favorite players of all time, at least of this era, Derrick Rose. So Derrick Rose, if you guys didn't know, he was a free agent, and then he got signed by the Detroit Pistons. So up-and-coming team. Dwayne Casey's the coach. They got a superstar in Blake Griffin, another all-star with Andre Drummond. So they're really trying to build something there. They ended up being the 8th seed this past season. Obviously, Blake Griffin got hurt, so he's only been able to play, I think, about 2 games, and they got swept by the Milwaukee Bucks. But he had an interview because he was promoting his book. He had an interview on the Stephen A. Smith show. Stephen A. Smith wasn't there, but Michael Eaves basically covered the interview, and it probably lasted about like 7 minutes, or that's at least what YouTube, the ESPN channel on YouTube allowed. So he discussed it's crazy because with Michael Easy, like he just went like when you first start to hear like the video, he basically just talks about all this shit he went through, and I know you can tell D Rose is like, all right, come on, man, like come on. So he was basically talking about like his intense career, so his low points, battling injuries, why he feels like a Hall of Famer, why he wants to stay in the NBA, hitting rock bottom, advice for Dwight. So there's a lot of things. One thing that was notable was, he was asking him, do you feel like essentially you were robbed of a Hall of Fame career? And then, and a quote from Derrick Rose, he said, I am a Hall of Famer, not in everybody's eyes, but to the people that I grew up with, like I made it, I executed, I got to where I was at. I've been having these same expectations that I have now. They were throwing on me since the sixth grade. I achieved all that. I got through all that. Imagine being 12 or 13, and everywhere you go, people are putting their burdens on you like, yo, you're going to be the man. You're going to be the one to make it. So my question to you is, do you feel like D Rose is a Hall of Famer? I can see where he's coming from the standpoint of when you're from a small city. When you're from a small city, like for me, for example, Newport News, small city. Not when you say like make it, people become successful. But as far as like making it, we got the Michael Vicks of the world, the Masegos of the world, Allen Iverson of the world from the 7-5 area. It's really hard. So I feel like when you make it and all these expectations are placed on you, I feel like you are a Hall of Fame within the community. But when we're talking about Hall of Fame, that's a really tough and touchy situation, because if you look at Hall of Fame credentials, it's about longevity. It's about, the rings that you won, your impact that you had as well, too. With D Rose, I love him. And obviously, he's only, 30, 31 years old, so he still has a lot of basketball left, I would hope. But he's the youngest MVP, which was great. He's always putting his team on his back. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals. If it wasn't for the super team with the Miami Heat, he would have more than likely went to the finals. If he never got hurt, he would more than likely got to the finals. But after those 3 peak years, like he said, he started to get injured. And then after those injuries, he was more so rehabbing. He came back, kept getting hurt. He did have that 1 year when Jimmy Butler was just emerging before he got that max contract. They battled the Cavs to a 6-game series, and that was the year the Cavs went to the finals when LeBron came back. But after that, he was on the Cavs, I think. Then he got traded. Then he got waived. Then he went to the Timberwolves. Now, he's on the Pistons now. So it's hard for me to really say he's a Hall of Famer yet, just because his career is not over yet, and he's been robbed of so many years. But as of right now, I don't know. Do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Definitely, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. The man is an MVP. He's an MVP. Is there any MVP that's not a Hall of Famer that you can think of? I don't think so. Okay. So he was MVP. He had 3 great years, right? 3 or 4 great years, MVP years, Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah. The youngest MVP to ever do it, right?
Ever do it, yeah.
Okay. And then this past year, a few years ago, I think it was last year or this year, maybe on the Timberwolves, he had a 50-point game, right?
50-piece, yeah.
Come on now. I mean, he got hurt. Yeah. He was balling before he got hurt.
Uh-huh.
He didn't get back to the status he was at one point, but he did a little something good. And then you also got something like Brandon Roy in comparison to. Brandon Roy was done. He wasn't MVP level that, D Rose was, but D Rose in the Hall of Fame. Point blank. He's in the Hall of Fame.
I just feel like with him, like, yeah, he was an MVP, but it's like, all right, if he's an MVP, he's definitely not going to be first ballot. But at the same time, it's like,
who would you put in there over him? If the ballot comes out, you have to pick somebody's name over Derrick Rose.
Well, we got to see.
He's also an Olympic gold medalist, too.
He is an Olympic gold medalist.
USA, I'm pretty sure he got a USA ring, too. USA gold medal.
08, he didn't play. 2012.
A few All-Stars.
2012, I don't think he played, but I remember he played the World Cup.
Okay.
I think he won the World Cup and he won some else. So he got some gold.
Yeah.
He got some gold. He got some gold up there too. I mean, yeah. I guess when I think of Hall of Fame, I just think of like a level of consistency that you maintain for X amount of years. Because the lifespan of NBA is what, like 2-3 years.
Yeah. I mean, but he has a complete body of work. In his small sample size, he has a complete body of work. He has MVP, All-Stars, Olympic gold medalist, USA gold medalist. He's in the Hall of Fame. And he still got hurt and came back and still had a productive year. So he's in there. I got him in there.
Okay. What are your expectations for him going into this year? You think he's gonna be a starter? You think he's gonna be a role player? Like, what's realistic? And do you see the Pistons going to the playoffs?
Man, I don't really have any expectations for him. I just want him to come out and just hoop, ball, and just I'm just glad to see him on the court. Honestly, I don't really have no expectations for him. If he does good, great. If he don't do that good, it's fine. It's D Rose. He's already done his thing. We know he's hurt. He's got hurt before. It's tough for him coming back. In my eyes, he's gold. He's good.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking on that, it was crazy because there was a moment when he was on the Knicks. I forgot he was on the Knicks for a little bit. He still, I think he averaged 16, 4 and 4. I shot almost like 48% from the field. That team was just trash. Jeff Hornacek was trash too. So maybe I'm changing my mind a little bit. Just give it a couple more years. That, like I said, he's one of my favorite players of all time. But I want to see more body work. But yeah, when he was on the Knicks, there was a time where he had to take a step back from basketball, obviously battling injuries, and then he took a step back from basketball as well too with the Cavs as well. And it's just a crazy thing because you really never know what players are going through. We just expect them to, put their body out there on the line, and basically it's only basketball. There's more to life than just basketball. So another thing that Michael Eves asked him was like, what makes you still want to keep playing basketball? And he said, obviously, like, he's had a love for basketball from an early start. And another thing as well, too, is like his kids, what I'm saying? And for example, you're saying like how his son, is growing up with him. And basically, like with his son, like right now with his son with his routine, he's there doing the pregame workouts and whatnot. And he was like, he didn't want to take that away from him and rob him of all that too. So one of the things that kept him doing it was the people that loved him and his family members too, which is pretty cool. And then one last thing for the interview was he had advice for Dwight Howard. And basically, Michael Hughes is like, you and Dwight Howard are kind of in that same, that same breadth of things. So with Dwight, his body work is obviously a little bit better. I think three-time
I got him in the Hall of Fame too.
Definitely 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Multiple-time all-team NBA, took his team to the finals, beat LeBron to get there as well, too. Just ran into Kobe Bryant, just how people used to run into the Warriors, people run into the Spurs, people run into Kobe and Shaq and stuff like that. But he said any advice for Dwight, knowing that you're at the top of your game, knowing that you're one of the best, considered one of the top players in the NBA, and then going through injuries, coaching changes, and all that good stuff. Any advice going into being a role player? And he said, honestly, be patient. You got to take it day by day. Be yourself, and then just time. Time heals all. Time heals all wounds and whatnot. So my question for you is, do you think that Dwight Howard will accept his role?
Shit, he better. I know that. I saw the little clips in Venice Beach. Dwight Howard, he had like a little dunk fest.
He was looking good.
I liked it. Looked like he slimmed down a little bit.
Slimmed down, still
chiseled up. Yeah, I like it. If he just come out there with the Lakers, just be a rim protector, great rebounds, defend, contest shots, block shots, play his role. Which he know, he playing with LeBron, AD. He know by now at this point in his career, he gonna have a role. He better play that role. I think he can be good for them.
I think so.
The question is, you got him starting over JaVale?
So my projected starting lineup,
because AD came out and said he want to play the 4. Yeah. I think he should play the 5, but for them, because Kuzma got to come off the bench.
So
AD playing the 4.
So this is my starting lineup. I got LeBron James at the point.
Oh,
yeah. I got Danny Green. I got Danny Green at the 2.
I don't like it, but I hear you.
I got Kuzma at the 3, and then I got AD and Dwight together.
I don't like it.
You don't like it? Why don't you like it?
I like your opinion, but I don't like it. I don't like LeBron playing point at age 34 now. I don't like LeBron playing point for 81 games. That's wear and tear. He got to guard who? Harden, Steph. Every night, I don't like it.
It's like Ben Simmons.
You
Ben Simmons plays.
You can throw Danny Green on him.
Ben Simmons plays the point, but he doesn't guard point guards.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll definitely see, and that's where I want to branch off into my next topic as well too. So basically, there was some more news that came out, and basically LeBron James apparently said that he wants Anthony Davis to be the focal point of the offense. My question for you is, well, before we begin into that, he had an interview with Chris Haynes. Shout out to Chris Haynes. He showed love on my page before. He said, when you going to have me on the episode? I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? You
tough.
can do a live call in. That'll
tough.
be lit. But Chris Haynes is part of Yahoo Sports. Had an interview with him, and like I said, LeBron James said he wanted AD to be the Lakers' offensive focal point. And then Anthony Davis had more to say. He said, I want to be the defensive player of the year as well. I think if I'm able to do that, I can help this team win. The offensive end will come around, but defensively, I want to hold myself, my teammates, including LeBron, accountable in order for us to take on that challenge of being the best we can defensively. So in doing so, we'll have a good chance of winning every night. I want to make sure me and LeBron are on all defensive team. And for me personally, I just want to be the best defensive player of the year. If we're able to hold teams under 100 points, which is probably unrealistic, but it should be our goal, I think we'll have a shot at winning a title. So first question for you, do you think it's realistic for Anthony Davis to be defensive player of the year? I say hell yeah. What are your thoughts on that? You think he can be defensive player of the year?
He can. He got to commit a lot. He got to commit a lot. He going to have a high workload on offense. So he got to commit a lot on defense too. I mean, he can do it. I'm not going to put nothing past him. You know, he's a great defensive player.
And that's why I didn't want him that's why I'm happy Dwight is there, because he's going to be that rim protector too. And then AD still going to play great defense, but knowing that you have someone right there to protect you, you know, with the rotation with Dwight Howard and Joel McGee, I think that's going to work numbers for him too. But my other thing for you is, like, he said he's going to...
Whoa, pause. Let me change my answer.
Okay.
If AD does not play the 5, I don't got it happening. If he plays the 4, I don't. Excuse me. If he plays the 4, I don't have it happening. If he plays the 5, I'll give him a shot at it happening, because he's going to be at the rim more at the 5 than the 4.
Well, I think he's going to definitely start the game playing the 4, but, you know, it's a small ball era, so when it gets into the fourth quarter, I think the White's going to get... Depending on the matchup, like... Well, honestly, it really don't depend on the matchup, because AD can guard anybody, for real. But I think going into the fourth quarter, when it's crunch time lasts 5, 6, 7 minutes or whatever, I think he's going to play the 5 and probably Brown at the 4 with Kuzma, probably Avery Bradley, like Danny Green.
Kuzma got to be out there. Kuzma got to be out there.
Got to. But yeah, so another thing he said in the interview was, like, he's going to hold LeBron James accountable. Now, first and foremost, LeBron James... these past couple of years has exerted minimal defensive efforts during the last few seasons, for better or for worse, because the whole thing with him is his team isn't that good. He got to pace himself to get to the playoffs, and then once he gets to the playoffs, he goes on a 0 dark 30 moment, and he just goes stupid, and that's what he saves it for. Obviously, like you just said a little earlier, he's about to be 35 years old, end of the year. He got a lot of miles on him, went to multiple finals, a lot of wear and tear, like you said. Do you see LeBron James listening to Anthony Davis, who obviously, numbers don't lie, statistically speaking, one of the best, but as far as credentials, like playoff success and whatnot, hasn't done anything. Do you see LeBron James with such a high body of work? Do you see LeBron James listening to AD when he's getting on him about, you know, playing defense and whatnot? Like, how do you see that pan out? Because I was like, it could work, since Dwight and AD are there to protect the rim. So even if somebody blows by LeBron James, you got 2 people right there. But do you see LeBron James listening to AD? And then do you also see LeBron James playing defense over an 82-game season?
I mean, I got Braun listening a little bit, but at the end of the day, you know, Braun is Braun. At the end of the game, he's going to have the ball in his hands. I like him coming out and saying, I want AD to be the focal part of the team. Yeah. That's basically just showing leadership. You know, we know everybody knows Braun is about leadership. That's just showing leadership. He wants AD to be a big part of the team. But at the end of the day, come on now. Yeah. It's Braun. He's going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to do what he want to do on defense. AD can pump him up. Yo, we got to play D. We got to play D. You know, he gonna definitely going to contribute a lot. Yeah. But when it's time for him to pace himself, and he knows, you know, at the end of the game, he going to need to be paced, he going to pace himself throughout the game. It's LeBron. You know, he always think about the game. He got a high IQ.
And like you said, if AD is the focal point offensively, LeBron James can take a step back offensively and exert more energy on the defensive end too. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Definitely. I didn't ask you, who's your starting 5?
Rondo on the team, right? They already signed Rondo, so I got Rondo at the 1. I got Danny Green at the 2. Braun at the 3. Kuzma at the 4. I want AD at the 5, but he came out and said he's not playing a 5. So that's my ideal lineup for them.
Ideal lineup.
AD at the 5, and I just can't bring Kuzma off the bench, because if Dwight at the 5 or JaVale McGee at the 5 and then AD at the 4, that means Kuzma got to come off the bench. He averaged 18 last year, 19 last year.
Yeah, 18.
I just can't see the Lakers organization want to bring somebody like that off the bench so young 3 years into
especially
his
when they
career.
gave
I don't
up-
like that.
Especially when they gave up all that young talent
Exactly,
just to keep
and
him there.
kept him.
Yeah.
No,
So
come on.
yeah, this is the year that we see Kuzma be the number 3 option. So
Yes, sir.
I'm excited for
You
that
gotta
as
get it.
well too.
You gotta
So
get it.
we'll see what's good with that. Next thing I want to talk about a little bit, just a little bit, is it's kind of a week old, but haven't been on the show and it's my show. Kobe and Shaq. So Kobe was at the PHP Agency Convention in Las Vegas by Patrick, and the interview was by Patrick Bet David. He asked a couple of things, but more so importantly, asked what would have happened had O'Neal worked harder. And some of the quotes from there, let me see where that joint at right there. He said,
Be the greatest of all time.
He'd be the greatest of all time, Brian said, at the PHP Agency Convention in Las Vegas when asked what would have happened had O'Neal worked harder. He'd be the first to tell you that for sure. This guy was a force like I'd never seen. It was crazy. A guy at that size, generally guys at that size are a little timid and don't want to be tall. They don't want to be big. This dude did not care. He was mean. He was nasty. He was competitive. He was vindictive. I wish he was in the gym. I could have fucking had basically 12 rings. So obviously, you know, we already know the history of Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. They went to 4 straight finals, I believe. Won 3 of them, lost to Detroit and whatnot. But it's kind of interesting because when you're looking at Shaq's stats, man, 15-time All-Star, 2-time scoring champ,
Savage,
4-time NBA champ,
Savage,
3-time Finals MVP, 3-time regular season MVP, 14-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Star MVP, and his career average is 24 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, and 58% from the field.
up.
And that's not when he was on LA. When he was on LA for those X amount of years, he averaged 27, 12, 3 assists, and 3 blocks.
A dog.
So my thing for you is, like, how do you feel about Kobe's comments on him saying that? Do you think they would have had more rings had he taken, his game seriously? Because even when I read the Mamba Mentality, which I think you guys should read as well too, Kobe was like a machine. Like he worked his body out. He was the first guy to be at the gym, first guy to leave. Only thing on his mind was basketball, and it was kind of sick. And basically, they're saying with Shaq, like he would eat some like unhealthy food during like before pregame workouts. He basically would get into shape while it was a regular season. So anytime he came to training camp, he'd get mad. Kobe used to just despise that. There was another expert. They were saying like, "Yo," Shaq would be like, "Yo, why you not gonna pass me the ball?" Like, dude, you out of shape. I'm trying to run through the fast break, and you're not even with me. I'm not gonna pass you the ball. So certain things like that happened and transpired. But what are your thoughts on Kobe's comments? And how do you feel about that?
I mean, they probably true. I mean, Kobe know better than me about Shaq work ethic in practice, outside of practice, as far as eating habits and what he did in the gym and outside the gym. But I'm gonna say I wouldn't bash Shaq on his work ethic. I mean, to get where he was at, he had to work a little bit, right? I would hope. I mean, I know he was big. I mean, he could have been a kind of nigga like, yeah, I'm just gonna be I'm gonna be in the league. I'm gonna be bigger than everybody. I'm gonna be more dominant than everybody. I'm gonna get my bread, and I'm gonna still be the best in the league. Yeah. I mean, you can't be mad at that. I mean, he's still producing. He's still doing his thing, producing at a very high level. He probably just like, I'm going to get my money and be that nigga on the court, and then I'm just chill outside the court. I can't be mad at that. I might be on the same wave, my damn self, so.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, like I said, I just described his body of work. Like, that sounds like work ethic to me. Yeah. And we don't really know, like, if he would have committed more. There's so many things that could have taken into effect. Injuries, you know what I'm saying? Injuries play a huge thing. Health is a huge thing going into the playoffs as well, too. So to do what he did, honestly, like, aside from, like, the scoring title, I mean, the all-time scoring list, like, who you could say he had a better career than Kobe. For real.
I got Shaq in my top 5, too. Yeah. We can talk about that later for another show.
Another show, definitely.
I don't got nothing bad to say about Shaq. I got him in my top 5.
Yeah. So obviously we live in the social media era. So afterwards, all of Instagram, all of Twitter caught all this. So Shaq got some notifications through his DMs and whatnot. So he responded back and said, "You would have had 12 if you passed me the ball more, especially in the finals against the Pistons." Hashtag facts. Then on Instagram, he said, "You don't get statues by not working hard," which is true as well, too. Then Kobe responded a day later, and he said, "There's no beef with @Shaq. I know most media want to see it, but it ain't gonna happen. Ain't nothing but love there, and we too old to beef anyway. Three-peat. Brian posted a message to his verified Twitter account, and then O'Neal, they said, basically said, "It's all good, bro. When I saw the interview, I thought you were talking about Dwight, if that's how you spell his name, Dwitelol." So Shaq's always had that outgoing personality, the jokester and whatnot, but I don't think it was too serious, honestly, man. Like you said, like his work speaks for itself. So I mean, maybe he could have got another ring, if he worked a little bit harder. But would we really be judging him in a different breath if he had
Exactly.
5 rings as opposed to 4?
Exactly. And Shaq and Kobe cool now. I think Kobe be training Shaq's son this whole time.
Kobe be training
The
everybody
oldest one,
nowadays.
the oldest ones, they cool. They good.
Yeah. So we'll see. Moving on to the next topic. Man, Team USA, my guy. Team USA. So the other
They
day,
sick out there.
Rudy Gobert in France beat Team USA 89-79, which ended our run without a medal. So this is the first time since 2006 the United States men's basketball team will not finish first in a major international competition. And then we also lost to Serbia 94-89, and we were down today 32-7 at the end of the first quarter.
They ugly.
I was like, yo,
They
come
ugly.
on, my guy. Like, what's going on? But
I will make them watch the whole tournament in the stands too.
yeah, for sure. So
Show them how ugly they was.
yeah, so against France, Rudy Gobert destroyed Miles Turner and plumly played probably like 1 or 2 minutes.
Yes, he should.
Because it was
Yes,
crazy
he
because Miles Turner was mad that Rudy Gobert won Defensive Player of the Year. So he was he was talking some trash when he won that joint. So Rudy Gobert heard all that noise and ended up with 21 points, 16 rebounds, 3 blocks.
It was slow for him.
And Fournier, too, had 22. Some guy named Nando Di Colo, who nobody even knows, had 18 points.
Who was guarding Fournier? I ain't catch that. Who was guarding him?
Kemba was trying to guard him and Donovan Mitchell.
That's slow for him.
And it just wasn't working. And then they started trying to put Marcus Smart on him as well too. He did okay, but
I would hope. Come on, Marcus.
It just
Come
wasn't
on,
working.
Marcus.
It just wasn't working at all too. But it's crazy how we take so much for granted because we are Americans. Like I said, we've been winning for years and years and years since the Dream Team, and then with the Redeem Team with LeBron and all that too. But it's crazy because France only had 4 NBA players: Frank Ntilikina, Ntilikina,
whatever it
I
is.
pronounce his name. He's the one that plays for the Knicks. Vincent Poirier, Nicholas Batum, and Rudy Gobert. So there was 4 NBA players there against our 12. And that's crazy how we lost. We were basically down the whole game. Donovan Mitchell started off real hot, and then in the fourth quarter just went cold as hell. Kemba was inconsistent. There was times where we could have won the game, or we could have put ourselves in a position to win the game, but Rudy Gobert was just dominating the paint. I think there was a point where he was
throwing everything.
Yeah, he was just throwing everything, altering all those shots too. And there was a couple of reasons why I think that we lost. And I said this with Trey on my other show, my other past episode. Our size. I felt like we had good wing play, but interior-wise, if we got Miles Turner, who is a solid player, but he's not no all-star caliber player.
Gobert made us look little. Gobert made us look real little.
Look real little, and I was like, "Yo, Coach Pop, like, what are you doing?" Because there'll be times where Miles Turner will be out of the game. Now I don't know if he was in foul trouble or not. I got to look back into it, but there will just be times where our biggest player was probably like Chris Middleton on the court or something like that too. And like you said, Rudy Gobert is in peak form. He's gonna play a lot of those minutes, so that's a lot of more possessions going their way as well too. So my thing was us not having that size that we're used to. The lack of shooting, I think shooting-wise, I mean, Donovan Mitchell had a good game, but he's not really a shooter. Jason Tatum was injured. Kemba's not a solid shooter. I think the most solid shooter we had was Chris Middleton, who was getting minutes too, but Harrison Barnes was kind of taking over that as well too. And then, what's the white dude's name?
Why was we starting Joe Harris? That's my question.
I
Why
don't
is
know.
he starting?
I was thinking that
Why
too.
is he starting?
Coach Pop, I was definitely thinking that too.
That's not good.
Did you want him to? Did you think he was like a Klay Thompson?
That's not good.
I don't understand that we were playing Derrick White as well too. I love the Spurs, obviously, but
We got all-stars on the bench, and Joe Harris is starting at his position. Chris Middleton could have been starting over Joe Harris. Come on now.
yeah, didn't make
Come on
sense. So that was one of the reasons why. Obviously, people dropped out. So, you had Bradley Beal dropping out, AD dropping out, Andre Drummond dropping out, James Harden dropping out, Kevin Love dropping out, CJ
Coach
McCollum
K
dropped
dropped out.
Coach K dropped out.
That's big right there.
All these
He
people,
dropped out first.
Yeah, all these people dropped out. So I feel like when you have your top tier talent, like if we had our top tier talent, like we would have blew every team out. Like ain't no question.
Of course.
But even when they dropped out too, I was like, yo, we're the United States. We still have a few all-team NBA, all NBA type of players on the squad and upcoming players who should be able to handle that. So it's kind of disappointing to see them lose 2 games back to back. Like that's just so unlike us. Another thing too, I feel like if Jason Tatum's ankle won't hurt, we would have definitely won that game too, because there's a lot of times where we had no one we can lean on to give us buckets in the crunch, and we could have definitely used his services, especially on the defensive end as well too, with his size. Like I said, NBA stars will participate in, just us taking it for granted. I feel like with Team USA, the players already have in their head that we're better than you, we're going to beat you, but you can never take them for granted. Kobe Bryant said that too in the past when he was on the Redeem team. He was like, yo, like, obviously we're in the NBA, we play at the highest level, but there's other talented players across the country. They don't really get to get showcased because we're the ones who bring in the revenue. We're the ones that are more popular, but there are other international players who are just as good, but they just feel more comfortable being at home, just like, for instance, Kawhi want to go to LA or whatever. They feel comfortable being home, or they don't get that much attention. So scouts aren't really there as much, but you can never take them for granted. And the fact that it's not like a playoff series, a one and done, you got to be ready to go. And I said that, lack of shooting as well too. I feel like chemistry. I feel like, for example, like with soccer, with like the World Cup or whatever international play, they have a lot of chemistry and cohesion. So, for example, you see the Spain squad, you see the France squad. These guys have been playing together for years. I feel like we kind of just put everyone together and said, all right, we're going to figure it out. And that was another thing as well, too. But what was your takeaway, with Team USA as well, too? Them losing and whatnot.
I mean, we got more talent than everybody, but I got chemistry. Mm-hmm. I got niggas being on bullshit. They was probably on the PJ, the private jet, turned. Once they got over to wherever city they was at, they was probably in the club, turned up in their little section, on bullshit. Like, yeah, we gonna blow these niggas out tomorrow. Came out the next day, got smacked. Lost the first game, got smacked. Said, fuck it, we still gonna turn up. And got smacked again. I mean, I don't really see it, have no excuse for it. That's the only thing I can think of. Shit, they was just on bullshit. They was like, fuck it, we just go out here and hoop and lost.
Yeah. So
the talent is there.
The talent is there. Make no sense. And I'm like, yo.
The coaching is there too.
Because Coach K, we won with Coach K. So I'm like, yo, Pop, you're supposed to be considered the best coach of all time. Either you or Phil Jackson in the NBA. What's good? Mm-hmm. So I was just scratching my head. But, I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's probably, honestly, the biggest reason why we didn't was because we didn't have our tier 1 players, honestly. Facts. Like, because now you're asking so much. I feel like we're in the era of social media. So your brand is everything. Your money is everything, and you're really not getting paid to do this other extra stuff. You're focused on the regular season as well too. And when you're going through 82 games, playing damn near all year of basketball, you want that break to yourself. Not basketball isn't everything with these guys. These guys have families. These guys have business to take care of. Like I said as well too. So basically, you're saying, we want you to play 82 games. Then after that, you probably got a couple weeks off. We want you to be part of Team USA, and then we want you to be a part of World Cup. We want you to go to training camp. We want you to go back to the regular season. We want you to go to the playoffs. And we want you to go to the Olympics and back to the regular season. There's really no time off for that, so I understand. But I honestly think next year for the Olympics, we're going to have a few Tier 1 players there too, and hopefully we get some better bigs, because Plumlee and Miles Turner, you going to get abused, bruh. It's bad. It's real bad. But, you know what I'm saying? Another thing, too, is players are getting better internationally. People, they're catching up. It's nice quality. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to the Dream Team making the whole world take notice and, expanding basketball as a brand as well, too. So that's what's up. Another thing I want to talk about before I get into the last topic of the day is Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson just got signed to the Detroit Pistons.
Did he? I didn't even know that. That's
yeah, he got signed today. And I'm happy for him because he's a nice role player. ISO Joe, we know what he brings to the table. but it still makes me think about Carmelo
Melo,
Anthony.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was
So it's
coming.
like, so you mean to tell me we already know from a talent perspective who's better, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But you mean to tell me all Melo had to do was join the Big Three, win league MVP in the Big Three, and then win the championship, and he's on the squad? Like why is Melo not on the team? Like what are your 2 cents on that whole situation, especially with Joe Johnson there? I mean, like obviously Detroit is in the East. They made the playoffs last year, but are they gonna get that much better with him? What are your thoughts on all that?
I saw a small clip. Melo, he was on SportsCenter. I forget who he was talking to. I think it was maybe Jalen Rose or something. He broke down the situation about how
Stephen A. Smith.
that might have been Stephen A. Smith about how the owner, the GM or something, came into like his hotel room or something, and basically told him he was cut.
Yeah.
Basically from that, I got that he thinks it was something internal, something going on, some kind of snake thing, a grimy thing going on. I'm guessing that's what it's got to be too. Talent wise, I seen the clips of him hooping in the summer, playing with LeBron and the Lakers, playing with this and that, coaching Donovan Mitchell, going over workouts with him. He looked good, man. I mean, footwork there, handles there, speed look like it's good enough. Everybody knows he don't play no defense no more, but a lot of people don't play no defense no more.
Yeah, I was about to say too.
I mean, it's a spot for him on somebody's team where he can, at least provide leadership to the young bulls, how he's doing in the summer right now, training with everybody else. I mean, yeah, Melo needs to be in the NBA. Period.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of news last week, and basically they were saying like since KD's injured, the Nets. I think he was practicing with the Nets team or something like that.
Yeah, seen that.
So do you think that would be a good destination for him to be there?
I mean, yeah, while KD hurt, why not? Shit. I mean, come in there, see what he can do. If if he come out with hitting the ground running, then yeah, he can play, be a part of the team. Definitely, he get minutes. If he don't, I don't expect him to come out there and be trash. I expect him to at least provide some quality minutes, come out there, and be a focal part of the other team's defense. If it's a second team defense on the other team, come out there and be a threat on the court. Definitely, yeah. I mean, shit, KD gone. We gonna have a need at this week. I'm a Kyrie fan, so
He said we were Boston
yes,
last
sir.
time.
Yes, I'm a Kyrie fan. See my dog up there. Stem from being a Duke fan. I think I said this last time on the show. Stem from being a Duke fan. Been a Duke fan since 01 with Jason Williams.
Mine was JJ Redick for me. I'm a Duke fan too. JJ
Okay,
Redick,
I like
boy.
that. So while KD hurt, if Melo can come in, provide good minutes, be a focal point for the other team defense on the floor, stretch the floor, let Kyrie do his thing. And yeah, definitely be on the squad. Come on, we'll take you.
All right.
Come on.
Melo, all hope is not lost. I think you're going to end up on the NBA team. You're just going to have to put that pride aside, my guy. Put that pride aside. Last thing I want to talk about today is my boy KD. Had a very, very, very great piece, great interview. The title is called Kevin Durant's New Headspace. It's an article at Wall Street Journal. Obviously, it's in New York. Wall Street's based in New York. And it's by J.R. Mo Ringer. I think I'm pronouncing your name right. Sorry if I'm wrong. You can correct me. So basically, it explores a lot of things. It explores his mental state. It explores his fallout with the Warriors, his Achilles injury, how he's, recovering from that as well too. So basically, it takes place at his place I think it's in Malibu, his mansion in Malibu, and basically like he's going through a normal day of rehabbing, and this guy comes in and just interviews him and really kind of people watches him a little bit too, and takes from, so basically asks him some questions about certain things, and then just observes him a lot as well too. So like I said, his follow with the Warriors, battling an Achilles injury, changing to number 7, deciding to go to the Nets, the process behind going to the Nets, his business ventures, backlash from OKC, and much more. So a couple things I just want to talk about, and then we can wrap some things up. He said, and I quote, "Some days I hate the circus of the NBA." He says, "Some days I hate that the players let the NBA business, the fame that comes with the business, alter their minds about the game. Sometimes I don't like being around the executives and politics that come with it. I hate it." So my biggest takeaway from that was like, obviously, like the whole point of making it to the league is to get that bread, collect that check. But I feel like from what he's saying here was like a lot of players kind of go away from that because they do see that money. They do see the attention that comes with the fame or whatever and whatnot. It kind of takes away from their game. Do you see that as an outlet as well too? Like a lot of people just not wanting it as much as players like a LeBron, players like a KD, a Kawhi, Kyrie, and stuff like that. Because for example, prime example, Andrew Wiggins, #1 pick. I feel like once he got that check, we haven't really seen him at his peak performance. No shade, but shade at the same time. What are your thoughts on that piece right there, that quote?
He probably just won a hoop. I mean, he been in the limelight since day one, coming out rookie year, damn averaging 20 points a game plus, being at Texas averaging 20-something points a game freshman year at Texas. So he been in the limelight all his career. Man, he probably just tired of it. He probably just want a hoop, and just ball out, focus, grind, get another ship, go on to the next venture.
Yeah.
It's his third team. He done hop twice in the last 4 years. He just want to hop. I guess he just want to hop teams in peace. So let him hop teams in peace. World, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from it.
Yeah. Another quote, Durant says, his decision-making process was as simple on the inside as it looked from the outside. He just said, Brooklyn was the right fit. He just knew. He didn't even speak to the Nets before his decision. He says he didn't need a PowerPoint. He's always felt big love as a visiting player at Barclays Center. He says, and he wondered what it might be like if he were on a home team. Plus, the Nets offered the opportunity to join his best friend in the league, Kyrie Irving, which I didn't know as well, too. Then he goes on to say one of the reasons why he left the Warriors itself. He said he was conflicted about leaving the Bay Area. He said, I came in there wanting to be a part of a group, wanted to be a part of a family, and definitely felt accepted, he says. But I'll never be one of those guys. I didn't get drafted there. Steph Curry obviously drafted there. Andre Iguodala won first championship. Klay Thompson drafted there. Draymond drafted there. And the rest of those guys kind of rehabilitated their careers there. So me, how are you going to rehabilitate me? What are you going to do? What are you going to teach me? How can you alter anything in my basketball life? I got an MVP already. I got scoring titles. And then what did he say after that? He said, as time went on, I started to realize I'm just different from the rest of those guys. It's not a bad thing, just my circumstances and how I came up in the league. And on top of that, the media always looked at it like KD and the Warriors. So it's like nobody could get a full acceptance of me there as well, too. So my thing for you is like, I mean, maybe it's just. I think it's just the social media, the media nowadays too. Because if I was him, I would have stayed on the Warriors and just kept racking up rings as well too. Obviously, it's a new journey too. But when you keep hearing from outside, so especially with someone who lives and died by social media, when you hear, oh, it's not the Warriors, it's KD and the Warriors, or oh, you went to a 73-win team, they ain't need you, yada 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 yada. That kind of messes with your mental as well too. But what are your thoughts on him falling out with the Warriors as well? And do you think it was a good move for him to go to Brooklyn?
I mean, I want to say that I definitely think it's the media getting to his head. Just to touch on what you've been saying this entire show, with this day and age, social media. I mean, you have a Finals MVP with a team, you definitely a part of the team, bro.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it's a media thing. Maybe there might be something going on like in the city of Golden State as far as the fans, as far as the organization. He might be feeling that there too and not just the media. But, if you bring home a Finals MVP to a team, bro, you a part of the team, bro.
Yeah, and I feel like too, like I understand what he says, like it's different.
But we'll take him.
Yeah, it's different
We'll take him to Brooklyn.
When you've built that foundation there or have gotten drafted there as well too. You kind of always do feel like an outsider as well too. And like you said, with the whole him leaving OKC, going to Warriors, it definitely makes sense as well too. But honestly, like we knew Steph was the engine, that was his team too. But honestly, when KD got there, in my eyes, if you're the best player in your squad, I think that's your squad. You know what I'm saying? But I think he was just trying to find or seek validation somewhere else. So it made sense why he left as well too.
I say ask Steph if he think KD important part. If he think KD a part of the team, he gonna say damn right. He got us a ring or two.
Even with Klay,
he got us a ring or two.
Even with Klay said it too when they were playing the Raptors. He's like, yo, we need this guy. Like, What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Another thing as well too. He was basically talking about how it's going to be more of a free flow ISO kind of driven system with Nets. But basically he's talking about Golden State. And I was excited to ask you about this too. He said, but there was also this from a strictly competitive strategic standpoint. Durant had come to fear that Golden State had hit a ceiling, and I quote: "The motion offense we run in Golden State, it only works to a certain point." He says we can totally rely on only our system for maybe the first 2 rounds, and then the next 2 rounds we're going to have to mix in individual play. We've got to throw teams off because they're smarter in that round of playoffs. So now I had to dive into my bag deep to create stuff on my own, off the dribble, ISOs, pick and rolls, more so than let the offense create my points for me. He wanted to go someplace where he'd be free to hone that sort of improv game throughout the regular season as well too. So obviously they do have that motion offense. Everyone touches the ball before you take the best shot, the smartest shot, not whatever. But my thing is like that's kind of what they brought him there for, though, right? Because obviously, like it's gonna get harder. And there's more attention to detail. The teams are tougher as you advance in playoffs. Like that's a given. My whole thing was like, obviously they are doing that motion offense, but when I looked at the Houston series, not from this past season, last series and whatnot, like he got his ISO. He got his touches. He went in ISO. Like that's what they brought him here for. But what are your thoughts on him trying to describe the system in Golden State and how it reached its peak?
I see what he's saying. I feel like he's just saying the whole year they did that run and gun kind of play style where they run that system. Steph running around the whole game, flying around. Draymond sitting screens, Clay flying around. Then he's saying after round 2 or 3 it don't work.
Yeah.
And then he just got to come out his bag and pull out bullshit and win the game for them. I guess that's what he's kind of trying to say. Not just him, of course. Steph too. But he's just saying, the whole year he used to playing a certain type of way, and then when it get down to it, he got to switch it up on the fly. So I feel like he's saying, but he's also
fly the whole year.
Yeah. But he's also a basketball player too, so he should also always have that in his bag, which of course he does.
Yeah.
But I feel what he's saying. I see what he's saying.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense because like him and Kyrie just ISO the whole time.
It's gonna be a highlight show. It's gonna be a highlight reel.
And do you think like players the team members are just gonna be watching from the side? Like basically how obviously James Harden has a way different game than other players, but I felt like a lot of times James Harden was like, "Yo, give me the ball, top of the key, everybody clear out. I'm gonna do my dance. If I draw these defenders, I'm gonna pass it and kick it out. If not, I'm gonna draw the foul." How do you see him and Kyrie coexisting if he's wanting to play that style of basketball?
I mean, they homies, right? They boys. I mean, the article just said they best friends. They both each other's best friends in the league. I mean, they both very, very, very high IQ basketball players. They both got rings. I mean, why not? They got other pieces on the team too.
I just feel like that system wouldn't be fun because like just
why not?
looking at when LeBron and Kyrie won that one chip together,
championship.
Yeah, they didn't really have no system in play. It was literally my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. I feel like that kind of gets tiring as well too.
It worked.
I mean, it worked, but
they also played with J.R. Smith. So the two guard over in the Nets, his Karis LeVert. He's a hooper. He showed out. And Spencer Dinwiddie. And they got Joe Harris. He's a shooter. He led the league in 3-point percentage just last year. Should have been starting for the USA team, but a good roll off the bench for him. They got a rim protector in DeAndre Jordan. They got my young bull off the bench. Jared Allen. They got a squad. People are gonna be open. Other people can rock with and without the ball. LeVert can rock with and without the ball. Dinwiddie can rock with and without the ball. Kyrie can get rest during the game. They got a lot of pieces, a lot of players. Everybody can get touches. They got a squad, bro. When KD get back, that's gonna be a squad, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of people can do a lot of different things. Everybody can pass, shoot, and dribble and find people. Yeah. So they're gonna be good. Okay, we're gonna be good. We're gonna be straight.
Cool. Another thing I like, Another thing I like is.
Damn right.
So I didn't know, but because of the death of like a friend or family member or something like that, that's why he wore 35. I think the person died at the age of 35.
His
so
coach.
He wore his coach. So
AAU or something like that.
Yeah, so he paid homage to him, which is pretty cool. But he changed to 7 because it represents completion in the Bible. God resting on the 7th day after creating heaven on earth. So it feels like KD is finally coming to terms. Yeah, it feels like KD's finally coming to terms as who he is as an individual, being comfortable in his own skin as well too. And I really like I think it's a blessing in disguise that he did get injured too, because he's obviously going to be around the team, but he's going to be rehabilitating. But he takes a step back from basketball and really is going to get to learn more about himself and really appreciate life as well too. And I feel like he's finally coming into his own. Everyone grows and matures at a different age, but I really like that. So I like the number 7 move. It's going to feel weird not seeing number 35, but he good, man. I think he's going to come back good as well.
Ain't gonna
too.
come back a dog.
Yeah, and I feel like with his injury in general, like he's not like a Dominique Wilkins or like a DeMarcus Cousins who relies on their the way his offensive game is. He's not gonna have to really rely on athleticism. So he's so damn tall.
Side note. Dominique Wilkins had that same injury, came back and averaged 30.
Yeah.
So we gonna see. We gonna see.
I see a minimum of 25, 26 points from KD.
That's enough.
Yeah,
that's more than enough for me.
And another year with Dinwiddie, and you said LeVert getting better too,
sir.
and Allen,
Yes, sir.
and
all young
Joe
bulls.
Harris,
all young bulls.
That's gonna be a tough squad.
All young bulls. Yes,
that's
sir.
gonna be a real tough squad, though.
Future looking bright.
His future's looking really bright too. So another thing that he touches on as well too is that toxic feeling of coming back to OKC. So he says, such a venomous, toxic feeling when I walked into that arena, and just the organization, the trainers and equipment managers, those dudes pissed off at me, ain't talking to me. I'm like, yo, this is where we're going with this, because I left the team and went to play with another team. And he said his mother recalled one particularly appalling piece of video, a Thunder fan firing bullets into a number 35 jersey, bullets. After that, she said, what else? There's another thing as well, too. The cupcake situation, when he was selling his house, he put up for sale. They were, like, spray tagging that joint as well, too. Then after that, he said, I'll never be attached to that city again because of that. I eventually wanted to come back to that city and be a part of that community organization, but I don't trust nobody there. That shit must have been fake, what they was doing. The organization, the GM, I ain't talked to none of those people, even had a nice exchange with those people since I left. It's crazy because, like, he was speaking kind of highly of it, you know, when he was transitioning over to Golden State. So now to actually see the baggage that he's just just blurting out now is kind of crazy. But it's wild too. Like, you expect fans to be booing and whatnot. Like, if I was growing up at OKC, I saw that dude get drafted, I have season ticket, I'm gonna feel some type of way, definitely too. But if it's like your coworkers that you worked with, like he said, the coaching staff, management, all that good stuff, the workers there, yada, yada, yada. If they, like, being shady towards you, that just really makes you think, like, yo, like, were y'all even fucking with me to begin with in the first place?
I think it was just a movement thing. It just became the culture of the organization, the fuck KD thing. After he left, you know, it was all over SportsCenter. It was all over social media. It was everywhere. So, I mean, it just became a part of the organization's culture. The fuck KD thing, you know, Westbrook and KD was going, you know, at it a little bit. You know,
and I was about to say that too, bro.
It's just part of the culture.
I felt like everyone felt so bad for Russ, and you can tell Russ is like, nah, nigga, it's OKC versus the world.
Niggas knew that shit was over.
I feel like Russ is like, I don't want y'all talking to him. I don't want y'all looking at him. Doing nothing. Like, if y'all do whatever, I'm like, it ain't that deep, bro. At the end of the day, it's just basketball, and you got to do what makes you happy. Yeah, and now he gone. At the end of the day, you just got to do what makes you happy, man. Like, basketball isn't everything. I feel like, you know, your state of mind is what's important, your family, your friends, and all that good stuff. So
pay good, though.
It's crazy.
Pay real good.
It pays amazing. You know what I'm saying? That's a great job to have. But it's crazy, too. I didn't know he was planning on coming back to OKC. It would have been kind of dope to see him, like, team up with Russ one last time and try to make it ring, but we ain't never going to see that again, and we're going to see them.
He with my man's Kyrie now.
Yeah.
Ready to
Kyrie.
get it done.
We'll see. I was asking Wave this. He was on 2 episodes before us, I believe, and we were like, yo, like, what do you see, like, if they get to the finals and win, who do you feel like when KD comes back, obviously, who do you think is going to be Finals MVP or the best player on that team? You think it's still KD or Kyrie steps into that role?
It depends on how KD comes back. I mean, we don't know. He could come back a little bit worse. He could come back a little bit better. You know, that's more unlikely. But I mean, it just depends on how he come back and how he move and how he, you know, how everything going, honestly. And then in the finals, it also depends on matchups too. Yeah. It depends on who Kyrie going up against. It depends who KD got to guard and who's guarding KD too. So it's situational. To answer your question, I think it's situational. A lot of situations got to
situational,
line
too.
up.
But I'm assuming for the Nets to get to where they want to be, knowing that the Eastern Conference is getting a little stronger with the emergence of the Bucks, Ben Simmons possibly getting a jump shot based on those videos we've seen. Victor Oladipo,
I'll believe it when I see it.
And what the Pacers are doing as well too. Toronto's still not sleeping on. I think they're gonna get better. Pascal's my guy. That dude's a dog. I just feel like, assuming the Nets get to the finals, I feel like KD's gonna have to be the best player. So I feel like he's gonna be the one to carry them to the mountaintop, and that'll be dope if he go up against Kawhi, gets revenge, or even go up against LeBron. I'm excited to see that. We gotta wait a whole almost 2 years for this shit. I'm gonna be 27, bro. I ain't ready for that. It's like, nah, I'm kidding. But
KD might fuck around and come back this year.
No, I'm not coming
Spoiler.
back this year.
Spoiler.
His Achilles again. Nah, don't come back. Don't rush
Dominique
that.
did it. Dominique Wilkins did it.
Yeah,
We gonna see. It's state-of-the-art technology up there in New York City,
It is
Brooklyn. We gonna see. What the article say? He locked in the room, right?
Yeah,
Locked in the room. Might come back. We gonna see.
that would be crazy though. That would be crazy.
I'm hoping though. We gonna see. I'm just hoping.
Yeah, definitely too. So he owns a company in New York called 35 Ventures, which is, like I said, headquartered in New York City, staff of about, I think it's 15. Let me see right here. It's basically Durant's lucrative endorsement deals, oversees an equity partnership with luxury audio company Master and Dynamic, and creates an eclectic investment portfolio, technology, hospitality, media tailored to their shared interests. They also generate a lot of content. So some things they've done as well too was they produced a documentary about the scene Quentin Warriors, which was a hoops team inside the maximum security prison. Launched a 6-episode series on ESPN. He also has something called The Ballroom, where he talks about the business aspect of sports as well too. So managing your money, investing, and doing all that good stuff as well too. Because a lot of people, don't surround themselves with that good group of people who knows how to take care of finances or who knows how to make things just last longer as well too. So I think you guys should definitely check that out as well too. And another thing as well, I didn't know that through the Kevin Durant Charity Foundation, they also help groups that take innovative approaches to fighting homelessness and easing hunger. And they do dazzling refurbishments of basketball courts in low-income neighborhoods around the world as well too. So Kevin Durant's doing a lot of things. I appreciate it as well too. And I like a thing about him too. A lot of people get on him about like social media and whatnot, but I feel like that's kind of his way to cope with things or just get through things. And another thing I was reading too, he was saying how like he would just interact with just normal people every day. He would go through his Instagram and then he would go through his DMs, and then if there's something that's enticing, he would reply back. So one example, he said he basically talked to about anyone. He said the other day, a middle school student reached out, said, she's like, I started to play at the free throw line, but I'm not very comfortable there, so I don't really know what to do when I get inside the zone. It was such a nice-ass question. She blew my mind. So things like that, reaching out to kids, letting them know that, they're not alone, or, we're not too stuck up to reach out to you or whatever, is pretty dope as well, too. Any last words on what you want to say in regards to KD?
I hope a speedy recovery, a very, very, very speedy recovery. Safe recovery, though.
Yeah.
When you come back, big dog, let's hoop. That's all I got to say.
Let's
come
hoop.
back, let's hoop.
We'll see what happens. It's Kawhi leagues now, boy.
Yeah, we can see. We'll see.
Yep. But yeah, man, that's episode 60. Any last words you want to say before I wrap things up?
I'm here. I'm excited. Finally got a little audio and video. I'll be back sometime soon. We're going to see. And I'm excited to be with you again, my man. We're going to be out. Yes,
I appreciate your time as well, too. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is episode 60 of the Seezus Show. Make sure to follow me on all forms of social media at Sir Seezus or at the Seezus Show, or both. I'm always updating you guys with content. So it's definitely going to be a dope episode. Spread the love, wealth, all that good stuff. Do what you got to do. Subscribe, like, comment, rate, share. Do what you got to do. Available also on YouTube at Sir Seezus TV if you want to check that branch of content out. And also, I have my own website, SeezusShow.com, selling merch. Everything else you want to know about me is up there as well, too. So, love you guys. Like I said, I'm back. New episode going to come soon. But for now, enjoy this one. We out.
All right.